Hi, everybody. It's Jeanne, Lyons, CEO and founder of Accelerated Synergies. And here we are live with my
Uh,
best friend.
Ahulani McAdam, the founder of Shining Our Light on Earth. Hey, Jeannie.
Hi, Ahulani.
Oh, gosh. What's up?
Well, I was thinking about a topic for today, and since since the shelter in place is starting to lessen a little bit and things are opening up, I wanted to look forward and I thought, what's on my bucket list now? So let's talk about bucket lists.
Sounds good to me. Wow. I've always, I don't know, I guess it's because of kick the bucket, right? That's where it comes from. It's just like, I've had an aversion to bucket lists, but I love the idea of thinking what are the things that I would like to do with the rest of my life, or some of the things that I would like to do. Um, and I know that I need to do that because if I don't have something to look forward to, then it's kind of a void. But it's hard for me to give me that myself that pleasure. Do you have a bucket list? Do you find it fun to do or?
Well, I do like planning adventures. I'm not a real big planner, as you know. Ahulani and I have done a road trip or two, and
We like spontaneity, guys.
exactly. So I don't like to plan too much, and some people think that planning is half the fun, and that's
Yeah.
not me.
Yeah, I would like to explore that. And I guess with this COVID shelter in place stuff that's going on, I have plenty of time to do that. And I don't know, in a different context, I was noticing that if I had given myself some pleasure, my daughter's someone who she doesn't distinguish, I don't think, between the planning and the imagining of something and the actual event. It's all pleasure. She gives herself a lot of pleasure in the process of choosing stuff. I'm much more kind of pull it out of the bag, rescue, make do. I like that kind of adventure. I like picking something and heading there and seeing what happens. But I'm getting more to appreciate planning because I think that it gives some people comfort. Um, I don't know. What's your take on all that?
Well, and of course, a lot of my big trips have been done when I was younger. So I
That's true.
can remember it was a business trip and I was taking the train. I used to like to take the train when I was in Europe because I could see the countryside and I loved traveling and seeing, the churches that all the little villages had because they built up around it. So I a friend asked me, "Well, how are you getting from London to Basel?" And I said, "Well, I'm going to take the train so I can see the countryside." And she said, in Europe, they don't say Basel, it's called Ball. And thank goodness she said that because one of the things that I
I
used to,
didn't know that.
oh, well, just in case,
Okay.
I'm on the train, and of course, I can't really sleep, and I'm a sleeper on planes, trains, and automobiles, but I have to stay awake so that I can see the station as the train is going through. And sure enough, when I hit Basel, it said Ball,
Oh my.
and I was so glad she had told me that.
Yeah.
I'd still be on that train.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm finding that also that I like my comforts now. And those require planning ahead. A lot more people are traveling than they were when I first started out and could kind of rely on always finding a place near the train station, you know. Um, but I don't like to travel that way anymore. So I guess we're not really getting a field of our bucket list conversation because we're talking about what we enjoy, I guess, and some things that you and I have talked about. Seems like that's what we're talking about. Um, the possibility of doing a retreat together, and
Oh, I would love to do that. So if anybody out there is enjoying our little beignets here that we have been doing, how would you like to spend a couple of days with us? Or maybe not.
I think we have to have a promise. And you could come with us, and
Right.
so so we're kind of talking about this. We've talked about it back and forth for a while, and if you have any thoughts about that, we'd love to hear. We were thinking about maybe when things open up, maybe doing something in the wine country in California as a prelude to something bigger. Initially, we were thinking about going to Florence and creating something really wonderful, a healing and transformational experience, and including shopping and dinner and food. So, uh, but that's not happening right now, and neither is the trip to the wine country. But it's on our bucket list, Jeannie.
It is. It is on our bucket list. And okay, another thing is, and if we went to the wine country, we could do this maybe. I've not been in a hot air balloon. Have you?
And I'm not going to. It's not on my.
That's not on your bucket
It
list.
is not on my list. I have been near one once. I had a friend in New England who that was her. She and her husband. It was their business, and it was super cool. Like to go out early in the morning and get things set up and watch it happen. But no, I will wave at you and take pictures.
Okay, okay. So, okay, I want to go back to Italy, particularly Florence. The last time I was there, I did the obligatory museums, which I would love to go back to because I made the mistake of going to Europe in August, which is definitely something I will not do again if I can avoid it. And for those who don't know, it's very hot and very crowded. So I like traveling when I go to Europe in October or November even.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, absolutely. What did you make? You made me think of something then. Um, oh, I don't know. I just lost it.
Okay, well, we're talking about hot air balloons are not on your bucket list. Now, you know what's funny is that, or odd, I would go in a hot air balloon, but I don't want to go in a glider.
Oh, I'm just the opposite.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm just the opposite. In fact, I was thinking that one of the most fun times I've had was this is a huge long story that I'll tell another time, but in a plane in Mexico, and we were flying in a mountain villages from village to village, and looking for this shaman, and the plane. It turns out it was Eisenhower's. It was a DC-3. It was a plane that when they park like I think they parked like this with the nose in the air, and you have to climb a
Oh,
ladder to get in. And they had gutted the whole inside of the plane, and it was full of chickens and beer cans. It's because they were flying the beer cans to recycle them. Um, but the guy who was flying the plane invited my friend and I to come up and sit where the pilot sits. And this plane, evidently, he said it was so great because it's all mechanical. So if an engine, he said, oh, well, if the engine stops going around, we just can climb out and kind of spin it. I don't know. But they flew, the mountains were like this, and the plane flew like this,
oh,
like down the valley. He said, oh, yeah, it saves gas. But it was really cool. It was beautiful. And so that made me think that a glider would be fun, but someone would have to know how to land it. That would be the problem, right?
right, right. Because there's no engine to pull yourself out of whatever if you got into
I
trouble.
would do it in the Midwest
Oh, okay.
somewhere.
Or you're just gonna mow down corn.
Yeah, yes, I think I'm not going to hurt anything. On a more serious note, though, I think for people, one of the things we have this opportunity during this time. We do have time to imagine our future. And I know Abraham talks a lot about paving. He calls it paving the way. And I think in Ho'oponopono they talk about it too, that you create the future by paving your way to it, in a way. And one of the key ways to do that is to have your destination in mind and your arrival in mind. So if I go in a glider, I'll think about the landing before I get in the glider. But that we could use this time to, go on Pinterest, talk to friends, uh, imagine what we would like to have in the future, because we have a luxury of time.
Yes. And the future is going to be very different than had we thought about it 3 months ago or 2 months ago, even.
Well, I think too that this is an opportunity to seize our power and not just let stuff happen to us. That if we really start thinking about, and this fits with your work too, Jeannie, if we really think about what we would like our work environment to be like, what we would like our coworkers to be like, what kind of um, life do we want to be living? What are our values? What do we want to wear? What do we want our hair? Oh my God, what do we want our hair to look like? But we can have a lot of fun putting ourselves in those future moments. We can put ourselves in them now.
Yeah, I totally agree because I think early on in this series we discussed manifesting and
Mm-hmm.
how I did my breakthrough session with carrying around the board and writing what I wanted on one side and what was stopping me on the other side. And then, you know, we broke through. So even though we've had some external restraints put on us right now and still do,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that doesn't, we have no constraints on our imagination. And
No, we don't. And we have so many wonderful tools. Um, I don't know if you've heard of this. I just discovered it this morning. It's probably everybody knows but me, but someone sent me something this morning. Have you heard of Google Arts and Culture?
no,
They've done an incredible job. I sent it to my daughter and son-in-law so the kids would have this. They have their virtual tours of museums. There are anthropological films, like if you want to go to a country and learn about those people, there are films about those people. There are all these resources that they pulled together in this extraordinary, and it's cataloged so you can pick, I want fun and adventures at home, and you can learn to paint, to I want to explore Africa and ride an elephant, and you can watch a movie about that. Or I want to, oh, it was a friend of ours that sent it to me. Go to the stamp museum and go through and look at all the stamps. So super cool. It's the Google Arts and Culture.
oh, that is cool because that just reminded me of another thing on my bucket list, and I would love to go on a photo safari in Africa.
Oh, wow.
See, you know, the big game and uh I'm a glamper, I have to tell you. I'm not gonna lay down on the ground. I you know, those
Yeah,
that you see in the movies, those big white tents and
yeah.
yeah.
Wow. Oh, that sounds really fun. I just did something that I think is cool, and I didn't know it was on my bucket list, but I realize it is. Um, I just wrote to an old, well, not old, a former art teacher of mine, and I asked him if he would be my creativity mentor,
Oh,
and that I would talk to him once a month. We haven't fleshed this out, but my idea is that I would talk to him once a month, and it would just keep my radar, my little North Star, making sure that I do creative work, and that I would tell Max what I've been up to, and then he would do a critique, whether it's writing or painting or photography or anything that kind of feeds my soul. I want to be able to share it with someone, and share it with someone that has a really good critical eye, who I trust, who will encourage me to keep going. And so that idea came out of the blue, and I think because I'm not as stressed, I was able to receive it. So if you guys have something that you would like a mentor with or support for, look around. Just get creative. There are ideas. If you want to play the recorder, maybe there's somebody else that you can either study with or learn from. There's so much stuff on YouTube. Um, but I think we can make this a really rich time.
Oh, I agree. That's exciting. I'm happy for you
Isn't
about
that cool? I know. I hope he says yes. I haven't heard back from him, but that is my, that is my plan. And he'd sent something out saying he wanted to do editing, and I thought, well, I don't want you to do editing. I want something juicier from you. So we're going to try that and
that.
see.
That's so cool. Because remember that outing we went on? It's weird. I always wanted to draw a tree, and I could visualize it in my mind, and never did it. And then we went to that what was it? Sip and paint or whatever.
Yeah, it was a thing in a mall, right? A
Yes.
cool business.
So if you and why I never sat down and decided to try to draw a tree before, I don't know. And this made me do it. And it was fun because Ahulani and some other friends were there, and I drew my first tree.
And it was beautiful. I mean,
Oh,
that was the other thing. It was kind of guaranteed. The way she taught was so wonderful. You didn't I'm sure you didn't come away disappointed, did you?
no, no, I didn't. I was sort of proud of myself.
Yeah. Yeah, you should have been. It should have been. Yeah.
So seek out those types of things. Don't, keep filling up that bucket list. If your bucket list is empty, you need to refill it.
Oh, that's a good point. That's a really good point. And it can be small things as well as big things. It can be things that you could actually do. You can put on there that you've always wanted to learn or talk to or listen to or read. Or I just, this is going to sound weird, but I, for the first time, made a playlist of uplifting songs that was a suggestion made to me. And I listened to it today for the first time. I'm not someone that walks around listening to, well, like when I walk, I listen to books on tape, like mysteries and stuff, or improve your mind things. But this is the first time I listened to music that I had chosen for myself that made me feel good. And it was just transformative. And one of the influencers in this playlist is Jeannie's mom, Jerry. Hi, Jerry. I can't thank you enough for who you are, my goodness, and for your daughter. Uh, Jerry, tell Jerry's story about the walking, because I think it's just so cool. And I don't want to get her age wrong or say her age. Maybe she doesn't want her age
No, no, we
spoken.
can't say her age out loud. That's a secret. And my mother she's very active. Oh my goodness sakes. And she had heard that Ahulani had walked 4 miles. And my mother walks a little over 2 miles every day. So I think there's a little competition going here.
And Jerry's winning, you guys, just so you know, because my 4 miles is not every day. But
So
her 2 miles is. But she had a treat for me that she's going to give me that via Jeanne. Jeannie told me about it.
So my mother told me to tell Ahulani that she's got a polka mix on her. I think she's still using a Walkman, you guys. And so she's got this mix of polka music, and she said, "You tell Ahulani that she needs to do that because she's just gonna dance when instead of walk."
Isn't that cool? Isn't that just cool? That the idea, and I'm going to do it too because I love. Actually, what my daughter and I went. We heard in Cotati in California near us. There's an accordion festival, and our favorite. We went to it, and it's just such a trip. And our favorites were the people doing polka, and it's really happy. You can't not be happy listening to polka music.
No,
So,
you can't keep your feet still. Well, we loved going to Polish weddings when I was back in the Midwest. They were the best.
oh my God. Okay, I'm putting that on my bucket list.
Okay,
A
a Polish.
Polish wedding in the Midwest will be so super cool. Okay.
Well, everybody, I have to say that this has been so enjoyable being with you for the last, I don't know how long we've been doing this, 6, 8 weeks, but I know we took a break for a bit. And now that we're at the point where maybe you don't need as much support as what we've been giving you 3 times a week. However, don't ever hesitate to reach out if you need any kind of support. And we're thinking about maybe putting an end to this series for a bit.
Yeah, we thought that we wanted to do something to help people during the really scary part when we were really in this thing of not knowing what to do and not knowing, and we had some questions that we wanted to answer for folks that were coming up, and now that things are opening up, we're opening up too. So I think what we've been talking about and what I think is going to happen is that Jeannie and I, who are good friends, are going to physically separate our little Zoom calls into two calls, and Jeannie's going to do things in her group and on her timeline for her clients, and I'm going to do the same for mine. And then who knows what we'll cook up together, whether how we'll come back together. We may do that. We may interview each other. We may interview other people. But we really think we're going to better serve you all by narrowing our focus and focusing on our clients and what they need, and creating programs that we know that we need to create for you all. And we have a diverse enough client base that it doesn't seem to really work together. We think that it would be better if we could focus on you entirely, each of us.
So I have to say that, well, I'm going to miss, not, maybe we have to schedule you and me calls still, Ahulani, because I'm going to miss this thrice weekly meeting with you.
Yeah.
And we love you all. Please know that you can contact us. We will put our individual group links below so that you can follow either or both of us,
Hmm.
because we'd love to continue to support you.
Yeah. And who knows? We'll talk, and we can pop in and do this together every once in a while too. Um, and I guess would be fun to know. Um, yeah. Well, once again, if join the groups, and then we can chat with you there. I think that's probably the best thing to ask for.
Exactly. And we'll certainly let you know if we get that retreat off the ground, because we would love to be able to actually hug you.
Wouldn't that be nice? It'd be great to get to know you and to see your faces and to know you better and to have you spend some time with us. Both of us we're actually, well, we have a lot of fun together, but we're also very skilled at what we do. And we're both transformative coaches and healers. And we have access to lots of ways that we've helped our clients move out of places where they've been stuck, whether it's stuck in not knowing how to make your work life really work for you, or whether it's having difficulty in other parts of your life. We can help.
But
So I think you had an idea we would have a toast, right?
I do.
Okay, can we do this thing? I'm gonna go ting over here.
But we can't hear the clink. Let's see. There we
Good
go.
job. Bye, everybody, and thank you, Jeannie. This has been a blast. I've just loved it. I really loved it.
I have loved it too. And cheers to everybody.
Uh, an extra cheer to Jerry.
To you, Mom. Love you.
Bye.
Bye bye.